Christians live their lives with Jesus Christ in their hearts. They follow his biblical teachings, base their lives around his model, and proclaim that he is the Son of God and humanity's Savior. But who was Jesus Christ, and what else should we know about him? Here are 18 truths about Jesus Christ that every Christian should know. Jesus was Jewish. Jesus was born in Bethlehem to Mary and Joseph and lived in Nazareth, Galilee. He was Jewish, born of a Jewish mother, and he followed the Old Testament. Jesus Christ was born, lived, and died as a Jew. Nazareth. Nazareth was not a prosperous location to live during the lifetime of Jesus. The Gospel of John provides an insight into the significance of Nazareth at the time. Nathanael says to Philip the Apostle, "Can anything good come from Nazareth?" Appearance. Many depictions of Jesus Christ feature a pale-skinned man with long brown hair and a beard. Richard Neve, a British forensic science specialist, has determined that Jesus' appearance is one of dark skin, short brown hair, and a beard, changing what we think Jesus really looked like. Historical sources. Along with the New Testament, Jesus Christ is mentioned in several historical sources. The most notable source is Flavius Josephus, a first-century Jewish scholar. During his work Antiquities of the Jews, Josephus refers to Jesus as a doer of wonderful works, a teacher of such men as received the truth with pleasure, as well as the tribe of Christians, so named from him. Ministry. Jesus Christ began a public ministry at the age of 30. He traveled through the regions of Galilee and Judea for several years, performing miracles and teaching people about forgiveness and faith. Carpenter or mason. Before adopting a public ministry, it was thought Jesus was a carpenter, like Joseph. But the Greek term used to describe Jesus' career is tekton, which doesn't translate to the word carpenter, but to the mason. So it is likely Jesus was a stonemason. Family wealth. Jesus' family tree can be traced as far back as King David. King David was one of the richest men in biblical history and is the victor in the story David and Goliath, later becoming the king of Israel. Some theorists think Jesus' family were reasonably wealthy and were certainly not poor. 8. Clothing paintings of Jesus Christ usually show him wearing white robes, but Jesus often wore purple robes. Certainly, before he died on the cross, he was wearing a purple seamless garment, an item so valuable that the soldiers argued over who would have Jesus' clothing. Birthday. If you ask someone what day Jesus was born, most will answer December 25th. After all, Christmas Day is Jesus' birthday, right? Actually, it probably isn't. We have no idea what day Jesus was born, with early Christians choosing December 25th to match cultural and pagan holidays at the time. 3 wise men. Some scientists have argued that it would have been impossible for the 3 wise men to have traveled to Bethlehem to visit Jesus on the night he was born. Mapping the journey the 3 wise men would have traveled would take 2 years, making the story questionable. Star of Bethlehem. A bright star appeared in Bethlehem on the night that Jesus was born, guiding his visitors and helping Mary and Joseph. Some scientists believe the Star of Bethlehem was a conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter, occurring in the Pisces constellation. But some theorists believe the Star of Bethlehem was an unnatural phenomenon that was truly sent by God. Born in a stable. As the Christmas story goes, Jesus was born in a stable. But was he? Well, he probably was. The reason Jesus was born in a stable was nothing to do with a lack of wealth, but pure bad luck and coincidence. On the day that Jesus was born, many people traveled to the area to complete a census. The inns in the town were full, and there was no choice but for Mary to give birth to Jesus in a stable. Messenger of God. The Gospel of Luke describes Jesus as a messenger of God. a prophet who has brought God's message to everyone. In Luke 13:33, Jesus calls himself a prophet. In any case, I must press on today and tomorrow and the next day, for surely no prophet can die outside Jerusalem. Views on homosexuality. Jesus Christ never mentioned homosexuality. The view that he was opposed to homosexuality is a complete fabrication, as we simply do not know what his opinion was. He never talked about it. Brothers and sisters, the Bible tells us that Jesus had several siblings, both brothers and sisters. 4 brothers are named as James, Joseph, Simon, and Judas, although his sisters are not referred to by name. There are many theories surrounding the nature of the relationships, with some theorists proposing that these siblings were born after Jesus to both Mary and Joseph, or before the birth of Jesus to Joseph and a previous wife. Other theorists claim the terms brother and sister are not literal, meaning we are all brothers and sisters in Jesus Christ. Marriage. Some theorists believe that Jesus was married to Mary Magdalene and that they had children of their own. Mary Magdalene is referred to as Jesus' companion in the Gospel of Philip, continuing to state that Christ loved her more than all of his disciples. Old Testament prophecies. Christians believe Jesus fulfilled Old Testament prophecies that proclaimed a Savior was coming. Deuteronomy 18:15 states, "The Lord your God will raise up for you a prophet like me among you, from your fellow Israelites. You must listen to him." The prophecies go further in Isaiah 53:3, explaining how the prophet will be despised and rejected by mankind, a man of suffering and familiar with pain. Jesus in Quran. In the Quran, the book of Islam, Jesus is a proclaimed prophet and messenger of God. Jesus Christ's significance in Islam is so strong, there is a tomb reserved for him in Medina, Saudi Arabia, next to Prophet Muhammad's tomb.